Kayaking is about the rhythmic beat of paddles slicing through the water, the push-pull of muscles, and sometimes, in some places, just too much work. Hi, I'm John Viehman. Join me as we kick back in the Bahamas and sail our kayaks through the Exuma Keys Land and Sea Park and make our own adventure on Trailside.
Trailside is brought to you in part by Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger Sport bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
These mango trees line the streets of Stanial Cay, a part of the Bahamas the locals call the Out Islands. And believe me, they're a world away from the endless gambling, shopping, and four-star dining in Nassau. The colors of these bright houses are actually inspired by the lush, bold colors of the tropical fish waiting for us in the world's first land-sea park just north of here in the Exuma Keys. Established in 1959, the park encompasses 365 islands or keys stretched across a 22 by 8 mile strip of ocean. It's called a marine replenishment area, and what that means is that there's no hunting, no fishing, you can't even take a seashell home with you. But the result has been an area rich in ocean treasures. Now, the only way to get there is by boat, and our boat is a folding sea kayak with a special twist, a sail. And with the consistent trade winds down here, the sail is the rig of choice. And joining us will be Bardy Jones, who paddled with me in the Everglades last winter. Bardy has been sailing kayaks here for the past 6 years. By now, he not only knows his way around the islands, he's even developed a Bahamian lilt to his Miami tongue. Hey, Bardy!
Hey, Johnny boy, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good to see you. You're looking good.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Hey, now why are we taking folding kayaks on this trip?
It's the fastest boat in the world.
What do you mean fastest boat in the world?
Well, this is your kayak right here in these 2 bags.
Yeah.
They weigh about 40 pounds apiece, and you can throw them on the airplane and be across country in 6 hours.
Oh, I see what you mean about the fastest boat. But you know, they don't look very durable. I mean, what is this, cloth right here?
Well, it's a real heavy-duty nylon deck, and then the hull material is the kind of stuff they make whitewater rafts out of. Nobody calls those guys fragile.
Yeah, they sure don't.
And then inside you've got a flexible wooden frame, and that lets the boat flex when it goes through seas or gets hit by a wave. It gives with the sea. It makes the whole boat a lot more seaworthy.
I guess the extra width probably helps make it more stable too, huh?
Absolutely. It's a good, stable platform.
Now, what were you just blowing up?
Well, along the side there's inflatable sponsons, and they're filled with air, and they give it an extra measure of stability. It also gives it buoyancy in case of an upset.
Well, that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Now, these kayaks weren't designed for sailing, were they?
No, they weren't, but they do sail well. And this sail rig was designed especially for kayaks. The guy that builds them used to make windsurfer sails, and now all he does is make kayak sail rigs. And the beauty of a sail rig, you can cover a lot of territory, you can carry a lot of gear without the effort of paddling. And hey, it's a lot of fun. And you know, that's what the Exumas is all about.
Yeah. Well, now this is my boat over here, so I better get setting it up.
Yep.
How long do you think that'll take?
Well, it should take about 30 minutes for us, but I think the world record's something like 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yeah, they must have been drinking a lot of coffee that day.
Well, this isn't such a jigsaw puzzle. All the pieces are numbered, and you just match them up with the numbers on the frame.
Yeah, but hold on just a second, John. There's a trick to this. In order to get these 2 halves down into the skin, you've got to be able to lift up these bars.
Oh, I see. So you put the skeleton in there, and then you put these center ribs in.
Exactly. So let's put the rear assembly together first.
Okay. The ribs again?
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you do the bow or the stern first?
Doesn't matter. You just start at either end and work towards the middle, and it all comes out fine.
Boy, these things really fit together well, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful engineering on these. I've got one of these that was built in the same year the park came into existence. And you can take any part on that and slip it right into this frame and it'd fit perfect.
Now what are these pieces called?
These are called longerons and they help to give the hull its shape.
And this goes right on top here?
And that's called the deck bar.
Okay, I'm ready for that stern section.
Okay, here it comes.
Ready for the bow?
Ready up. And nice and straight. That's where we need that flexibility in these floorboards. Okay, it's always a good idea to hold your foot down in there because sometimes they can pop up and hit you in the face.
Yeah, you sound like you speak from experience on that one.
Oh yeah.
Your ribs in now? More ribs?
More ribs, and then we'll put in the last longerons.
Now, why does this rig have two lee boards on it?
Well, it's just this particular design. And the way it works is you put the lee board up on the side that has the wind, and you put the lee board down on the side that away from the wind. And that's the way it works. And you have a little knob there to tighten it off.
Now, how big is the sail that we're using here?
This is a 32 square foot sail, and it's just a great size for kayaks. I've tried bigger than that, it just overpowers them, and anything smaller than that, it's just too small for light air. So it's a perfect compromise size.
Now, what are these slats that we have inside the sail here?
These are called battens, and the purpose of a batten is it slides in this sleeve, and you can tighten it, and it creates a wing type foil here, and it just vastly improves the sailing characteristics of the boat. So it's a pretty simple rig we've got here. You've got the sail that harnesses the wind, you've got the lee board that keeps the boat from slipping sideways, you've got a rudder that's connected by cables to foot pedals, and that steers the boat, and lastly you've got the trim of the sail, and that supplies the power and determines the speed of the boat. So why don't we go over here and I'll show you a few more basics of sailing.
Okay.
This is going to be our kayak and this is going to be the wind.
So the wind's coming from this direction going down, right?
Exactly. And most of the time on this trip we're going to be cruising along with trade winds. It's going to be coming right over our shoulder, real nice and easy. And this is where that lee board is going to be real important because without the lee board the boat would drift to the side, but that lee board getting dropped down will just lock it right in and keep it from drifting. Now, you always want to keep the sail perpendicular to the wind. That way it'll catch the wind most effectively. Sometimes the sail gets let out too far and the wind just spills out the outside, has no power. And other times the sail will get pulled in way too tight and the boat will heel over.
But doesn't that just mean you're getting more speed out of it?
No, what it really means is that the wind is spilling out the top of the sail and you're losing power. You want to try to keep that boat on a nice even keel. And on this trip, because we're going with the trade winds, we can sail in almost any direction with the wind.
Okay, but that's sailing with the wind. What if we want to go to an island, say upwind, like there?
Well, it'd be nice if you could sail in a straight direction up there, but if you did, the wind would just run past the sail and you wouldn't have any speed at all. There's an angle about 45 degrees on either side of that direction of wind, and you can't sail up into that area. So what we're going to want to do is sail as close to the wind as we can and get up to a point that we think we can cut over to the island and crank that rudder, and the boat will go around, the sail fills out on the other side, and we sail right up there to Viehman Key. But you know, we're really never going to learn this until we get out in the boats ourselves. So let's go out there and get wet. Let me show you where we are on the map. We're going to start out down here at Stanial Cay and sail up to the southern end of the park, work our way through these islands. We'll probably camp for the first time right up in here. There's some really pretty beaches in this area. Then we'll move on further north and cross the wide opening. Now the wide opening is about 6 miles across. It's got some real bad cross currents and get some heavy seas in there sometimes. It can be real tricky. Once we get across there it'll be pretty easy though. And we'll probably camp the next time up in the Hawksbill Key area.
And then what do we do? Turn around and start heading back on down to Stanial Cay?
No, that'd be against the wind. We don't want to do that. We'll keep on heading north, and I've got a plane picking us up just north of Shroud.
Now, I notice these islands don't have any topography marked on them. Does that mean they're all flat?
No, some of them are pretty hilly. But this is a nautical chart, so it concerns itself with the things that are in the water, like this sandbar. At low tide, this is exposed and we can't get across it, so that's something we really need to know about. Right up in here, all these X's mark rocks that are exposed and therefore dangerous at low tide. Again, something we need to know. All the blue is shallow water, less than 3 fathoms.
Now, how much is a fathom again?
Fathom is 6 feet. Take a look at some of the depths out in here.
Oh boy, 860 fathoms, 900 fathoms deep.
It's real deep, real quick.
Man, it all happens right off the edge of the islands, too.
Sure does. Now, we don't really need to look at this to tell the water depth, though. You can just look at the water. Up in here near shore, where the water's shallow, it's real light colored. And as it gets deeper, the water gets darker.
Okay, now how much depth do we need for these kayaks?
For paddling, all we need is about 6 inches. But when we're sailing and the lee boards are down, we need about 18.
Okay.
So let's dash these charts and grab our sails and let's get going on.
So Bardy, are the campsites you set up with the warden a leisurely sail apart?
Yeah, we've got some exploring time and some just hanging out time too. Boy, that wind's really coming strong off that right side.
Yeah, it's gusting an awful lot.
Yep, got to keep spilling some air out. It's going to overpower us. You know, one of the most important things to remember here is to always keep your rope free and be ready to just let go your sail. If you get in trouble, if you get scared, immediately slows that boat down and you've got a good control over it then.
Check out the wake on the lee board right there.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those lee boards, man, we'd be going sideways as fast as we're going forward. Well, John, this is the Rocky Dundas. This is where there's a couple really neat sea caves back under the cliffs. See it back under there?
You sure we can get under there?
Yeah, it's going to be close because the tide's come up quite a bit, but we'll have to take the mast down and I think we'll be able to scoot right under.
Okay.
We'll tie up to these mooring buoys and take the mast down.
All right.
They put mooring buoys here because a lot of people use this, and the anchors getting dropped on the coral were killing the reef.
I don't know why you said we had to bring our mast down. Oh, here we go. Whoa, look at this. This is amazing. Now, how is this formed in here, Bardy?
Well, by waves crashing up against the cliffs, and they just pounded it out. And then the stalactites just formed from all the dripping water.
Where's all the color come from?
Well, it's all soft corals and lichens that are growing in here.
You can only get in this at low tide, huh?
You can almost hear the sirens in here luring us to our death.
Shall we move out?
Don't need to ask me twice.
Okay. Here we go. Now, why is there fresh water in this particular location?
Well, there's a basin here that catches rainwater, and the rainwater is sort of acidic because of all the vegetation in the area. And over the years, it's eroded a hole in a weak spot in the limestone over here and formed a little natural well.
It looks a little dank. Let's use the filter on this.
Okay, good idea. Water's a little low, hadn't rained in a while.
That's your end. You know, Bardy, this is work.
It is.
It's a lot of work. You gotta be in pretty good shape.
It's true. No couch potatoes out here.
Hey, what's doing for dinner?
Well, we're having some black bean stew and some chili cheese cornbread. And then for dessert, I thought I'd whip up some green mango pie.
Boy, you continue to amaze me.
Hey.
Well, I'll let you finish up. In the meantime, I'm gonna go stake out my tent.
Okay.
In these islands, there are two kinds of sandflies, and both of them bite. One's even called the ferocious sandfly. And the only known remedy is to find the windiest location possible for your tent and then really stake it out. Now let me show you how I do it. I took an old plastic pail and cut 5-inch discs out of it, then ran a line through it. Now using that disc, you just dig down until you find some nice heavy packed wet sand, and then you make a T in your trench. You sink the line in there, cover it up with sand, pack it down firmly, and now it's bomb-proof. Another cooling tip for sleeping in these islands is to pull your rain fly at night, then just tuck it up real tightly in front of your tent, leaving that stake for your door in place. And there you get the advantage of the nice flow-through ventilation from the mesh panels in your tent, especially in this one, which allows you to do a little stargazing as well. Now I got one more to go, and then I can taste that mango pie. Looks like that bilge pump's working just fine.
Yeah, it is. It's always better to check these things out before you need them.
Yeah. Hey, before we head out to the big wide opening, let's do a walkthrough on our safety equipment just to make sure we haven't left anything out.
Okay, that's a good idea. We've got a flare kit over here, and we've got a strobe light. This will be good if we get caught out after dark. You can hook it right into your vest. Compass, a mirror, and a little smoke canister here, and a waterproof flashlight.
That's going to be a long crossing. Is there any way we can rest partway across?
Oh yeah, I brought a sea anchor.
Oh, and that's what this thing is on your deck?
Yeah. It's a neat little contraption here. You pull on the float, and this just pops right out, and it deploys like an underwater parachute. And it holds you right into the wind, keeps you from drifting away. And to retrieve it, you just pull on this rope, pops right in and vanishes.
Boy, now that's slick.
Yeah.
Hey, what if we run into some big winds? I mean, it's pretty calm now, but you never know.
It's true. Well, this sail is able to deal with higher winds with a technique known as reefing. On this one, it's real simple. You just zip these two panels together like this, and it reduces the sail area. Pretty quick.
Now, you can do that while you're underway, right?
Absolutely. You can do it by yourself by pointing into the wind, or you can get somebody else to help you.
Okay. One last safety thing. Did you bring a radio?
Yep, got one. Got a Marine VHF, and we'll do a safety check-in with the park.
Okay.
Exuma Park, this is Bardy.
Exuma Park, yes, Bardy.
Yeah, we're getting ready to jump across the wide opening. We've got two kayaks, one with a purple sail and one with a green sail.
When do you estimate your arrival at Stanial Cay?
I think it'll take us a couple of hours to get across.
Okay, you be sure to give me a call when you reach Stanial Cay. We don't want to waste any gas looking for y'all, you know.
We'll be sure to check in, and thanks a lot for looking out for us.
Travel safely.
Okay, Bardy out.
Boy, nothing like a warden with a good sense of humor,
That's
huh?
right.
Hey, I'll finish loading this up. You can go ahead and push off.
Okay. Well, it looks like a nice, calm day to cross the wide opening.
Yeah, we lucked out.
Yeah. Sorry we don't have 6-foot seas and gale force winds for you today.
I'd say we're getting close to being becalmed, Bardy.
Well, there's more wind right up here.
Yeah, we got a little gust here.
Yeah. Got a gust here. Looks like we're sailing.
Well, Bardy, it's going to be more than an hour getting across this great wide opening of yours at the rate this wind is going. You got any ballads or anything?
Sure. Let's see. From Liverpool to Frisco, a-rollin' I went. For to stay in that country it was my intent. But girls and fine whiskey like other damn fools, and I soon was transported back to Liverpool singing roll. Roll, bullies, roll, them Liverpool girls, they have got us in tow. Well, I shipped on the Alaska line out in the bay, waiting for the fair wind to get underway. Our whiskey's all drunk and our backs are all sore, and I've lost all this song and I can't remember.
Exuma Park, this is Bardy.
Exuma Park here, come in, Bardy.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that we've safely crossed the wide opening and we're coming up on Stanial Cay.
Okay, glad to hear it. Enjoy your trip then.
Okay, thank you. Bardy out.
Well, after all that sailing, paddling these things feels like you're pushing a barge up the river, huh?
Yeah, I like those sails.
Now, what are we going to see in here, you think?
Well, you see a lot of stuff up in here, a lot of mangrove trees, but we see some good-sized nurse sharks in here, and I've seen some sea turtles recently.
Well, why would they be hanging out in here?
Well, there's lots of stuff to eat. There's a lot of small fish that use this as an estuary, and there's turtle grass in quite a few places, so that's why the sea turtles will be hanging out. Plus, it's getting close to nesting time, and they nest on all these beaches around here. Well, we're going to have to do some big-time paddling here, John. Got this current setting against us, and we've got to break through here. Now, in some of these places, the current will run 3 or 4 knots. Makes it pretty difficult since our average paddling speed's only about 3.
I don't like the math on that one.
This isn't so bad with the wind behind us.
How did these channels get in here?
Well, Shroud Key used to be a great big sandbar, and over the years, the wind built up sand dunes along the edge of the water, and the interior remained what's called a salina, an area that floods on the high tide. And where the water rushed in on those high tides formed all these channels.
You wouldn't be making that up now, would you?
Not me.
I haven't seen any other mangroves down here. Are these fairly unique?
Well, mangrove's like a real sheltered area, and this is a perfect spot for them. It's probably more mangroves in Shroud Key than there are the rest of the Exumas put together.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great place. Lots of mosquitoes, too.
Looks like a pretty good reef down there.
Yeah, this is a coral, and coral's a collection of essentially living rocks, and the surface of these rocks are made up of billions of a colony of billions of tiny microorganisms, and they secrete limestone throughout their life, and when they die they leave that limestone behind, and other corals build on top of that, and it makes the colony larger.
Well, you'd never know all that was going on down there. Now, why would it be forming here as opposed to another island?
Well, the coral likes it here because the current sweeps a lot of nutrients by here.
Now, that stuff's pretty sharp if you scrape up against it, right?
Oh, it is. But it's also incredibly delicate to the touch, so a small touch by either finger or flipper could destroy a dozen years worth of growth.
Beautiful colors down in there.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to get underwater.
There's a saying here in the Exumas that goes, relax a while, live longer. And that pretty well sums up our trip. We've pulled into perfect white sand beaches, snorkeled in glass clear waters. We even got a break in the weather to just glide across the wide, wide opening. Well, there's still plenty of miles to sail, but with extra days in the schedule, we have more than enough time for a few Exuma diversions or to just relax and live a little longer here at the edge of the world. So we'll see you next time on Trailside.
Ready to sail, John?
You bet, I could do this forever.
Available now, the complete series of Trailside illustrated guides, hiking and backpacking, bicycling, kayaking, cross-country skiing, and winter adventures. To purchase, call 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574. The home video of this program, as well as other programs in the Trailside series, is available for $19.98 plus shipping and handling by calling 1-800-TRAILSIDE, 1-800-872-4574. Trailside is made possible in part by LL Bean, providing sporting gear and apparel for people who love the outdoors for over 80 years. And Chevy Trucks. Next time you're having fun outdoors, remember, you're not alone. And Weider Nutrition Group, makers of Tiger Sport bars. Nutrition for your body, fuel for your sport.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.